Sailaja Rani, lecturer in computer science, YA Government College for Women, Chirala. Dear viewers, in this video, we will learn the objectives, a generic process model, software flow, defining framework activity, identifying a task set, and finally, process patterns. Before going to software process, we have to review the process and software engineering. A software process is a framework for the activities, actions and tasks that are required to build high quality software. A software process defines the approach that is taken as software is engineered. Software engineering also encompasses technologies that populate the process, technical methods and automated tools. As per the definition of a process, a collection of work activities, actions and tasks that are performed when some work product is to be created. Each of these activities, actions and tasks reside within a framework or a model that defines their relationship with the process and with one another. A software process is represented schematically as shown in the picture. A software process framework. Each framework activity is populated by a set of software engineering actions. Each action is defined by a task set. Each task set that identifies the work tasks that are to be completed, the work products that will be produced, the quality assurance points that will be required, and the milestones that will be used to indicate progress. A generic process framework for software engineering defines 5 framework activities that are communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. In addition to the framework activities, a set of umbrella activities that are project tracking and control, risk management, quality assurance, configuration management, technical reviews and others are applied throughout the process. One of the important aspects of the software process is process flow. Process flow describes how the framework activities, actions and tasks that occur within each framework activity are organized with respect to sequence and time. They are a linear process flow, an iterative process flow, an evolutionary process flow, a parallel process flow. Now come to the linear process flow. A linear process flow executes each of the 5 framework activities in sequence. Execution begins at communication, then planning, then modeling, then construction and then deployment. Execution begins at communication and ends at deployment respectively in a linear fashion. Now come to an iterative process flow. An iterative process flow repeats one or more of the activities before proceeding to the next activity. In this also, after communication, planning stage starts. Again, from the planning to the communication, the path is repeated. This is nothing but the iterative process flow. Now come to the evolutionary process flow. An evolutionary process flow executes the activities in a circular manner. Each circuit through the 5 activities lead to a more complete version of the software. For example, in this first stage is the communication, then it goes to planning, then modeling, then construction, and finally to the deployment. After deployment, it will release just the one increment. Later, like that, several increments are released until the final product is produced. Now come to a parallel processing flow. A parallel process flow executes one or more activities in parallel with other activities. For example, modeling for one aspect of the software might be executed in parallel with construction of another aspect of the software. An appropriate actions for a framework activity for a small software project requested by a stakeholder who is at remote location is phone conversation as a communication activity. The work tasks are task sets that the action encompasses: contact with a stakeholder via phone or mobile, discussion of requirements and preparing notes, make the notes as a statement of requirements, send the statement for review and approval for the stakeholder through email. A task set defines the actual work to be done to accomplish the objectives of a software engineering actions. An action associated with the communication activity can be represented by a number of different task sets. For each task set, a collection of software engineering work tasks, related work products, quality assurance points, and project milestones are associated. A process describes a process related problem that is encountered during software engineers in work, identifies the environment in which a problem has been encountered and suggests one or more proven solutions to the problem. Every software team encounters problems as it moves through the software process. Patterns can be used to describe a problem and a solution associated with a framework activity. The pattern types are stage pattern, task pattern, and phase pattern. Now we will know about the stage pattern. Stage pattern defines a problem associated with a framework activity for the process. Example, establishing communication. Now come to the task pattern. Task pattern defines a problem associated with a software engineering action or work task and relevant to successful software engineering practice. Example, requirements gathering. And now come to the phase pattern. Phase pattern defines the sequence of framework activities that occurs within the process, even when the overall flow of activities is iterative in nature. Example, spiral modeling and prototyping. Now come to the summary. In this video, we learned about the definition of the software process. Later, we also learned about the software engineering also. A software process defines the approach that is taken as a software is engineered. But software engineering also encompasses technologies that populate the process, technical methods and automated tools. In this, one of the most important aspect is nothing but the process flow. Process flow describes how the framework activities, actions and tasks that occur within each framework activity are organized with respect to sequence and time. The different types of process flows are: a linear process flow executes each of the 5 framework activities in sequence. And second one is the iterative process flow, repeats one or more of the activities before proceeding to the next activity. Come to the third process flow, evolutionary process flow. It executes the activities in a circular manner. And come to the fourth process flow, that is parallel process flow, which executes one or more activities in parallel with other activities. And finally, we also learned about a pattern, process patterns in this video. Patterns can be used to describe a problem and solution associated with a framework activity. The pattern types are stage patterns, task patterns and phase patterns. Examples for the stage pattern are establishing communication. Example for the task pattern are requirements gathering, and example for the phase pattern is spiral model and prototyping. Thank you for viewing this video. Happy learning.